Sorry about that, people. Signals having some 4-2 on Loudermilk to Dots Miller. Fly ball, right fielder, X. Right fielder for the White Sox is Mr. Liebold, who is a 2 defensively. Excuse me. Get my chart out here. 2, let's see, roll the black die. 9. So 9 for the outfielders. Level 2 is a double. So Mr. Miller leads off with a double in the bottom half of the first. Next up to bat, Mr. Wilson. Mr. Owen Wilson, not the actor, but that'd be funny if it was. He'd be pretty old, but, you know, not. 6 and 9. 6 and 9 on Loudermilk's card. We have a walk. So right at the top, yeah, right in the inning, we've got 2 guys on base, no outs. We now have Mr. Wagner. He of the Hall of Fame and the pricey baseball card Honus Wagners. A 1 and a 6 for Mr. Wagner. 1 and a 6. Ground ball A, which, as we know from the chart, or maybe you don't if you're new, ground ball A, double play, guy on second, moves to third, so we now have 2 outs. However, we have a guy on third base. Ham Hyatt, I like Ham. Ham Hyatt, DH coming up, 1909. He finished a .299 average, but he only had 67 at bats. So this will be interesting. Excuse me. 6 and 6 on Mr. Loudermilk's card. Again, we have a fly ball center field B. It's the third out. So we have no score after 1 between the 1919 White Sox and the 1909 Pirates. Up next, in the top of the second, is Mr. Gandil. Chick Gandil. Camden's pitching to Chick. 4 and 8. 4 and 8 on Howie's card. It's a ground ball to shortstop, X chart. The X for the Pirates is a 1 defensively, which would be Mr. Wagner. $16. Shortstop, 1. 16. We have an out. What's up? 16. Out. Gandil with the out. Leading up to Mr. Shane Collins, the DH. Two and 5. Shane Collins. It's 2, so it's a batter's card. 2, 5. Fly ball out to center field. Two outs. Top of the second. Swede Risberg. Have to check and see if he was actually a Swede. 5 and 5. 5 on Mr. Camden's card. 5. A home run. If he rolls a 1, fly ball out to right field. Anything else? only playing basic here because a lot of my cards only have the basic side as they're older and apparently were released before they decided to add the advanced and super advanced. So we're gonna roll the black 20-sided. See what we got here from Risberg. Fly out to right field as he gets a 13. We have 3 outs after 2 innings for the White Sox. So now we go to the bottom of the second with George Gibson leading off. George Gibson is the catcher for the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates, facing Mr. Loudermilk. We got 3, then we've got 11. So 3 and 11 on Mr. Gibson's card is a ground ball to third base with the out. Next up, we have the left fielder for the Pirates, Mr. Fred Clark. 287 average that year with 11 triples and 16 doubles. We got rolled a 2, batter's card, and a 7. So a 2 and a 7 is a walk. Clark gets on base with the free pass. Next up, we have Tommy Leach, center fielder. A 2 and a 10 for Mr. Leach. 2 and a 10 for Mr. Leach. Also a walk. We now have 2 guys on base, just like the last time. 3 total walks so far. However, we have 1 out. 2 on, 1 out. Up next, Bobby Byrne, the third baseman. Weak hitter that year, average of 226. But there's a couple spots on here that could get a run or 2. 5 and 6. 5 and 6. Ground ball to second base with the X chart. Leads us to ground ball to Mr. Eddie Collins, who is a 1 defensively. So we get the fielding chart, get the 20-sided. 11. So the 1 defensively for second base with 11 out. 3, out 3, fine print. Runner on first is out going to second, providing there is 1 double play. So we have a double play to end the inning. Double play to end the inning, and after 2 full, we have a score of 0-0. 1 hit so far, a combined 2 hits, combined 4 walks. This is just an interesting game. Sometimes with these old cards, you get this. We have Ray Schalk coming up at the top of the third for the White Sox. Schalk is the catcher, at 282 that year. We got a 6 and a 4. So 6 and 4 on Camnitz is a fly ball to right field for the out. So Mr. Schalk flies out to right field. Wilson with the catch. Back up to the top of the lineup for the 1919 White Sox, which is Nemo Leibold. We're having no trouble finding him today. Hey-o, finding Nemo. Got 4 and 6. Back to the pitcher's card. 4 and 6. This really does say line out. Looks like a bad print job, but you can read it. Lines out to short for the second out of the inning.
We found this among your things.
2 outs. Top of the third, Buck Weaver coming up. 6 and 11. We have 6 and 11 on Mr. Camnet's card. We have another fly ball to right field, however. That is an X chart. Right fielder for the Pirates is once again a 1. So we get the 20-sided die here. 13. 13. 1. Go down to 13. Out. 1, 2, 3 inning at the top of the third.
Excuse me? Time clock Todd. That's what we used to call him. He ain't dead, is he? No. He's alive. That used to be Todd's spot. Right over there.
And how long did he live here?
Oh, hell, long time. Years and years.
When's the last time you saw him?
Bottom of the third. Bill Abstein coming up.
I think it was in the summer.
260 hitter.
Not this summer.
20 doubles.
Last summer.
10 triples, 1 home run. He's the defensive liability for that one with a 4. A 4
I don't know where he went to, but it wasn't a real job.
and a 5.
Every single day.
4 and a 5 on Loudermilk's card is a fly ball to right field.
Todd, help me understand. What did you mean when you said the slaughter?
Fly ball to right field, which was Nemo. The ball found Nemo. Dots Miller up again, bottom of the third. 6 and 8. 6 and 8 on Loudermilk's card. It's a single, split-sided single, 1 to 9, or a line out to third base
Killed them.
if I roll a 10 to 20. Line out to third base.
They said I was coming here to see my dog.
Okay, let's talk about your dog. When did you first
2 outs, bottom of the third.
Who was it? Did the dog belong to your brother?
Mr. Wilson coming up to bat. 1 and 3. So we go to the offensive card for Mr. Wilson. However, pop out to second base. Go to the top of the fourth. Top of the fourth here for it's going to be Mr. Eddie Collins on the White Sox.
Todd, what happened to the dog?
Interesting thing about Eddie Collins is he's on 2 teams in this particular group. Both the 1919 Philadelphia A's and the 1919 Chicago White Sox we have here in front of us. 3 and 7. 3 and 7. 3 and 7 from Mr. Collins' card is a walk. So Eddie Collins on base twice so far. The 1 single for the White Sox up to this point. And the walk. Joe Jackson up now, left fielder. 1 and 5. 1 and 5.
Even when Todd realized he was protecting a murderer. Todd's
Ground ball,
is our own.
second base A, which of course is a double play. So we have 2 outs, nobody on, top of the 4th, with Happy Felsch coming up. Happy Felsch was a decent hitter with some doubles that year. 34 according to the card. Center fielder. And the center fielder for the White Sox roll a 2 and a 10. 2 and 10 on his card. Ground ball to third base. After 3.5, we have, for 3.5, we have no runs, 2 total hits, going to the bottom of the 4th now. Ham Hyatt up to bat. And Criminal Minds with a crazy homeless Appalachian Trail unsubbed in the background. For Hyatt, we roll a 5-3. Takes the pitcher's card. 5-3. Our first strikeout of the day. Strikeout straight up. Ham Hyatt strikes out. One away.